Hello and welcome. This is Mouse Gunner, and we're back with some more Motorsport Manager. And we're coming up on the third race of the third season for Archer BMR. And I didn't realize this in the last video, but it's Milan that's our next race. And Milan is the track that is mostly straight. So as a result, I am going to be changing up my strategy a little bit here. So I'm going to come into the part improvement, and I'm going to switch it up to 10-10 because I'd like to improve some of my parts. I'm also going to change around some of the reliability improvements we're going to be doing here in a second. Now, we're only going to do this for a few days, so we're not going to improve the parts too much. But I'd like to stop improving those parts. And I would like to improve our other engine. Now, we're going to have new brakes, so I don't feel like we should improve brakes. I'm probably going to get a new gearbox here soon, so I'm gonna improve anything. I'm gonna want it to be something that we're gonna have for a little while. We could do this other suspension, why not? All right, so that's gonna be what we do. Now, as far as reliability goes, I think I'm gonna want to work on the other engine that we have. And what else? Well, from what I can see, most things are around about, these brakes. These brakes probably need it. There we go. So we've got, I guess I was improving the reliability of the wrong brakes there. All right, so we have that taken care of. We have 2 sponsorship offers, but I'm still going to wait for that third one. So let's go ahead and continue here. So we're going to continue until we get the brakes finished. And then I'm going to build a gearbox. And probably won't have that in time for the race, but we'll have it, for the next race. Let's continue here. Okay, we've got a couple things going on here. So scouting report finished. Okay, that's another team, so I'm not really concerned with that. Boris's birthday. Let's take a look at Boris and his morale. All right, so he's full up, so I don't really need the morale, so I'm not going to spend money. I mean, he might take a little bit of a hit here. And then we've got the Singapore vote upcoming that they're telling us about. There's likely to be good news for Dragon Race Team China, whose car would be likely to perform well. And that's the only team that it would benefit. See, I wish they would actually show you the track. Oh, there it is. Very interesting layout. I mean, I'm going to vote for it more than likely. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue here, because that was just a couple events there. All right, so we've got our brakes. Let's take a look here. So again, reminding us about a vote upcoming. Brakes finished. So before I forget, let's go ahead and design our new part. And we're going to do a gearbox. And we're going to start with this, because that's the only thing that improves the performance outside of this, which, has a risk level. And then, we're going to be doing this and probably getting it done with, most of the time after the next race to improve its reliability. So I'm fine with taking the reliability hit, because from what I can see, the only other thing that gives us a bonus to the stats is going to cost us time, although we do get a little bit of reliability. It's going to cost us time and not give us as big of a bonus. So I want as big of a bonus as we can get. So we'll do that. And, this kind of gets offset by this, so that's fine. So we're going to get this 6 days after the race. Let's go ahead and build that part. Going to cost us a little over $1 million, but we just got, we're going to get sponsorships here soon. So maybe that will offset that a little bit. And then improving parts, we're going to change quite a bit here. So I'm going to go full reliability. We're going to stop improving these brakes, and we're going to move over to the new brakes. Now, 40% reliability. I don't know if we'll get it reliable enough in 7 days, but we'll try for it. All right, so the engine, I figure we'll stick on that until it's probably around about maybe 70%, and then we'll switch over to something else. I mean, eventually we're going to get rid of this engine, but it will stick around. I would say after this gearbox is done, we'll probably build an engine. But that engine more than likely won't be ready for the next race. So we're going to be using this engine for a couple more races. So it's okay to get its reliability up. So let's go ahead and continue here a few more days. And pause. Okay, so let me just get the update here. All right, so we're almost to that 70% mark, but I'm going to go ahead and cancel the improvement now. We've only gotten up to 43%, so I'm a little bit unsure of whether or not we're going to get this reliable enough to use. All right, with that being said, what else do we want to improve the reliability of? We could do a gearbox. Yeah, why not? We'll do the gearbox here, prove its reliability, and we'll do that for probably a couple days here. We do have all three sponsors, so let's take a look at them. Okay, so what do we got? So we've got a 3-star one, a 2-star one, and a 1-star one. So taking a look at this really quickly, this is 10 races, 200,000 per race, and then you get 200,000 up front. That would be worth about 2 million. And if I look at the 3-star one, I mean, just doing rough math, this is obviously worth more. And then if you look at this one, you're making less per race, and you're also making less up front, and it's for longer. So this is definitely the best one, so we're going to accept that. We get $1 million up front, so that actually really did offset the part we just built almost entirely. 150,000 we had to spend out of pocket more or less, but we'll get that more or less as well. Actually, more than that once we do the race. So let's go ahead and continue here. Okay, we got just want to check our reliability. So we're at 45%, and maybe we'll get it up to 46%, and that is really not great for the race day. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to keep it on improving the parts that we have. That's kind of a bummer. We could put it on Boris's car and just accept that we're going to have to repair it, but I'd actually prefer not to have to do any repairs, so we'll just see. I'll continue here to the race. Oh, we do have that, I guess, a politics vote while the race is ongoing. Scouting report. I'm going to assume this is another race team's driver. Okay, so let's go on to the vote. I've already discussed what I'm going to be doing. So these are the teams that will be benefited. This rule will not benefit Archer, BMR, Silver. That's interesting. It won't benefit us? I wonder why. Well, I'm going to vote for it anyway, because I like seeing more tracks. So we'll vote for it and continue. And I have a feeling that this is definitely going to go, be a passed vote, because as many people as it didn't benefit, there were more people that it did. So I think the rest of these votes will all be for it, and it will pass. Oh, actually, I was wrong. As a matter of fact, I think the chairman had to come in and break that tie. So, interesting. So, if I voted against it, it wouldn't have passed. All right, so Singapore was added. What is the next vote? The next vote is on what type of tires we're going to use, I guess. All about endurance. They may not be as fast as the current tires, but they last longer. So, there's that. All right. Well, let's take a look at our car really quickly. So 47%. We might just be able to get very close to 50%. Let's continue. All right, we're actually at Milan. So we're not going to see much more improvement beyond what we've got here. And yeah, we actually did manage to get it up to 50%. So again, I might use it because it's going to be quite a stat improvement. But let's go to the fit parts screen here, and we'll make up our mind. So I'll do brakes last, but right now we've got our better engine. We might as well use that. I mean, its reliability isn't quite up there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on Boris's car. We'll probably use that repair stat just because he's going to have some parts that aren't quite as reliable. We're already using the better gearbox, so we're good there. And we're already using the better suspension. I'm out of curiosity, could we do this change? No, we couldn't. All right, that's fine. And all right, I guess we're more or less good to go except for the brakes. So Do we want to take 50% breaks? I think we will. Just because of the big stats increase. It's going to be important for this race. The only problem is there's going to be a lot of wear on those brakes is why I'm a little bit concerned. And I'm probably what I'm going to do is just have Boris use his, quicker repair speed in case the brakes or engine do need repaired, because we're going to be putting a lot of strain on them in this upcoming track. So we'll see about that. All right. Well, there's the parts. Let's see where we are as far as stats go. So we're 6th there, 6th there, 5th there, and 5th there. So overall, we're 6th, but we're getting closer and closer to be kind of like in the middle with our cars, and we're 6th in drivers. I find that interesting because I don't think we were that low earlier. As a matter of fact, I thought we were 4th, but oh well. I guess somebody's been improving their drivers. Let's go ahead and continue on. All right, well, now this is the tough call. Do we take 16th or above and just take the sure money, or do we take 4th or above and have a real chance of not getting our sponsorship? I think we got to go 4th or above. As a matter of fact, the difference between 4th or above and 2nd or above is so minimal that this is by far and away the better choice between the two because it's much more likely. I don't really know how well we'll do in this race because our top speed is still kind of in the middle of the pack. But we're going to do the best we can do. We already did the parts fitting, so let's go right on to the race. And if we don't get our sponsorship, and it's a bummer, but it's not the end of the world. It'd be really nice, obviously, because 800,000 is quite a lot. As a matter of fact, we make more with that one sponsor than we would profit-wise the rest. Now, obviously, there's costs that are balancing that out, but it's going to more than double our profit from this race if we get that sponsorship bonus. All right, so we were expected to have sunny weather on both practice and race day. We're going to be using Shen and Mustafa until Boris actually has better feedback than Shen. I'm hoping Shen eventually improves to have even better feedback, but for now, they're the same. But we want to give her track experience as well, so we'll do that. Let's start with Boris's car here. I don't know what our tire choices are because I didn't pay that much attention to it. And I actually don't know what strategy I'm going to go with here. Now, it's saying to go high downforce. I find that kind of surprising. I'm not going to go super high. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go a little bit more towards this end because I kind of feel like that's going to be where we need to be. And we're going to need to stiffen up the suspension. That's not too surprising. I'll put it about there. And then speed balance, it looks like we kind of need to be in the middle of this bar, so that's where I'm going to keep it. And it does look like we have a combination of soft, medium, and hard. Now, again, I don't know how well our cars are going to perform on this track. So if we're going to be slow, we're going to need to go with the endurance game and go mediums or hards. If we're going to be fast, then we're going to want the soft tires. So the problem with this track is pits are like an eternity, at least the way that they feel, because how fast the cars go. Like if you have a huge lead and you pit, everybody on the field could still pass you. I mean, that's how fast this track is. So I'm going to go mediums because I think that's what we're going to end up using in the actual race, at least that's what we're going to start with to feel things out. So I'm going to go ahead and confirm that. And then over here, we're also going to run mediums. It looks like, again, we need high downforce, which I find rather surprising on such a high speed track that we would need higher downforce like that. But that's what we're going to set up. Again, I'm going to set it up a little bit more towards this end, just because I suspect, the bar will shrink and give us a better idea. Now, handling, it looks like we need to go a little bit softer, so I'll do that. And speed balance, it looks like we need to go for a little bit shorter gearing, so I'll do that as well. And yeah, we'll do that. Tire choice, we're going to stick with mediums. All right, well, that's going to be the initial setup. Let's go ahead and take the practice and see how that does. So immediately pause here. Out you go. And away we go. Now, there's not going to be any rain, so I'm not going to have to bring them in early. We're going to get plenty of time on this particular setup, giving me an idea how good they are. I'm very curious how we're going to finish in this practice, because it might give me a good indicator of how well we'll do on the race. Alright, hitting the limiter on the straights. I kind of thought that acceleration setup would be not great. Yeah. Alright. So far, so good. Now, another thing that's great about how fast this track is, it doesn't take long to get the 3 laps in that you normally put your drivers out on. Tire temps seem to be kind of neutral. Yeah, again, it's far too high. Yeah, far too high. And I didn't even go that aggressive on them. So we're 10th and 13th. So I don't know if we're going to hit our 4th or above sponsorship. I really don't. I mean, it's hard to say. So far, I haven't hit a single positive thing with Mustafa. All right, here we're in. So we've got poor. Well, that's not too bad. Now, again, sometimes you can't necessarily trust what the drivers say as far as where to set up things. Now, handling, it looks like we went the wrong way, so we're going to go that way. Speed balance, same kind of thing. We're going to go that way. Now, he was saying he wanted less aggressive downforce, but it looks like the bar is that way. Well, I'm going to take it the way that the driver said, but I don't know if that's right, and we'll find out if we go through here, and if this is worse than poor, then we know that we did the wrong thing. All right, so that's going to be the changes for his car. Let's pull you out on the same tires, and then we have to wait for Shen to get in here. Okay, good, okay. Well, that's good. I thought I remember her saying that her handling was not good, but maybe I misread that. All right, so the downforce is okay. Speed balance is okay. We've got a little bit of an indicator of which way to take it. So let me back off some of these things and see. And I want to balance the handling back to kind of where it was, like that. And hopefully this will improve things. We'll find out if it's worse than 78%. We'll find out for sure. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the setup here. We'll keep her out on the medium tires, and out you go. All right, so we're going to have about 5 minutes on these. I think we are going to have to go to the conservative route. Conservative pitting. Which is going to be hard to do with Boris's car, because we're probably going to have to fix it sometime in the race. So maybe not with his car, but with Mustafa, I'm going to go more the conservative route maybe. Okay, much better handling. That's good. Aero's feeling great now. So we did move things in the right direction. The bar didn't look like that was right, but sometimes, I guess, you know what? You just listen to your drivers and ignore what the bar looks like at times. If you can remember with 2 cars telling you 2 different things. Speed balance is better, okay. Handling we already knew. We might have our cars pretty well set up here. Alright, so gearing is maybe not great for his car. We might get level 3 here on our trim, which would be the first time that has ever happened. We've got 30 seconds to get it, though. There we go, we got it. Alright, so we've got okay, good, okay. So we definitely improved. Good, good, good. I think that's the first time I've ever seen that. Alright, well, we can't send them back out. Alright, well, I'm happy with that. We could probably improve things even more because we know the right direction to take things in. We'll just have to see. But Boris's car is going to be set up well. And Mustafa's car is not bad. All right, so overall in practice, we did kind of poorly. So I think this is going to be a good indicator of how we're going to do in this race. I probably should have taken the more conservative sponsorship bonus, but I wasn't sure because, you know, this is the first time we're doing a high-speed track like this. All right, well, doesn't necessarily mean that's how the actual race is going to go. Now, Mustafa should be, you know, a little bit further up because his season hasn't been necessarily great. All right, let's do the bonuses first. So we're definitely going to take the race trim. And then we're also going to take the riskier pits for him. I could go engine expert and flog his engine too. That's actually a tough call as far as the engine expert goes. Because what's better, getting the quicker pits, which pits in this track can really hurt you, or getting the engine expert and really being able to flog the engine? Because I feel like right now the engines are, you know, maybe not as reliable as they need to be so that you can flog them. But if we go here and we do this, we could flog it all the time, but the downside is we'd burn through fuel really quickly. So we'd have to pit more often. And if we're going to go more conservative, I think this is probably the better call. All right, over here, I feel like I don't have a choice here. I'm going to have to do quick fixes because of the less reliable brakes. Race trim, I'm just going to take for the overall performance. Okay, we're going to do that. As far as the car setup goes, I'm just going to take a look at it. So 83%. I'm happy with good, so we'll do that. Tires, I'm going to go softs with Boris. We're going to try a little bit more aggressive strategy. We'll get the 9 laps worth of fuel, confirm. Now over here. We know the right direction to take things. We know that lessening the downforce will help this car. And increasing the top speed will also help. So I'm going to go in those directions. Even though the bar kind of indicates that's a bad thing up here, I believe that is the correct move. Maybe we took it a little too far. Maybe we want to be a little bit conservative. Now, speed balance, we do want to go with a little bit longer gear ratios, but I am going to need to change this to get the handling back on where it was, more or less. And there we go. I think that's going to be the setup we do. Hopefully that will get that around about that 83% that we have with our other car. Now, tire choice here, we're going to go mediums, and we're going to fuel up. We're going to try to be more conservative with Mustafa's car. So I'll confirm that. And driver strategy, I'm going to keep things neutral for now. In any case, I think we're going to go ahead and put a cut here, and we'll pick up the race in the next video. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.